working on this black on black Impala SS supercharged 3800 car here, and there was a fire. There was these spark plug wires on the front were, most of them were melted right off, so I changed those three on the front, and I think that's where the fire started. I'm not really sure, but anyway, I changed the spark plug wires. I checked the wiring harness, and it seems to be fine. There was a plastic cover over the top, and the foam underneath the cover all dripped and melted all down onto here, and it melted. This line here was melted off, so I changed it, and I changed that purge solenoid valve. And you can see these spark plug wire keepers they got hot, but this had a hole melted right through it, so I changed that, changed just whatever needed to be changed, whatever was broken or melted or leaking kind of thing. So I've got it running now, but it won't idle. And when you take, there's a plastic cover on the top here, and when you take the plastic cover off, this filler neck holds the cover on. So I took the cover off, but I found water in the oil. So when they took the cover off to put the fire out, either they sprayed water down in there, or either that or it's a blown head gasket, which I can't see it being two problems at once, like a head gasket and a fire. Can't see that, but I'm probably gonna have to change the oil and filter to get the water out of the oil to see if it's a head gasket or not, or to see if it's gonna stay contaminated. You can see the dipstick is melted off here too, the handle, but the oil is all, it's not that bad, I guess, but it's got a little bit of water contamination in it, and it looks like chocolate milk. That's how you can tell when your oil is contaminated with water or coolant. So anyway, I'm going to change the throttle body. Throttle body's got IAC, MAF, and TPS sensor. So there's three things built into it there. There is no check engine light on this car, so I think these two, the MAF and TPS, are probably fine, but it's common for them to get dirty inside with carbon, and this IAC may have gotten hot. So I'm going to change the whole throttle body. And I got this one here from my buddy off of SuperCharged Bonneville. But it's if you look at it, it's got the IAC, TPS, MAF, all the same thing. And I got a new gasket here for it as well, because there's a water jacket in the bottom and another water jacket. There's two water jackets, plus you got your intake, and your IAC is right in here. So I cleaned this one up a little bit yesterday. You can see there's carbon in there, but I cleaned up a lot. There was bigger chunks of loose scale, and I cleaned it out, and there was this IAC port here was blocked right off with carbon, so I cleaned that out and put the IAC back in. I took it out and then cleaned it out and put it back in. So you can see it's a little bit dirty still, but I cleaned it up pretty much the best I could. This surface has to be cleaned for the gasket, and yeah, I'm gonna put that on. Okay, changed the throttle body on this supercharged Impala SS Indianapolis Speedway Edition. And now it idles and runs on its own now. So yeah, That's the throttle body I got from my buddy, and all 3 sensors, I just left them on there. Oh, this one's actually a solenoid, but yeah. Hooked it back up to the K&N air filter again, and now it runs good, but the oil was contaminated, and there was a fire underneath of the plastic cover that covers the engine, and this oil cap here, you can see it all over my coat because it's so windy today. It was blowing when I pulled the plug. Anyway, you got to pull this cap off to get the cover off. So they might have taken the cover off and sprayed it with water to get the fire out. I don't know, but I found water in the oil. The oil was contaminated, so changing the oil and filter now and trying to let it drain out real good. I drained it out once, but I hadn't considered the filter, so I'm doing it again. And yeah, putting a new filter, new oil. And right now it's just draining out. I want to drain it out as much as I can. But I'm also working outside in the mud. Friggin' mud. Where's my buddy? Hi, buddy. Hi, tail waggers. Hi. I just dropped my phone. That's hilarious. Friggin' hilarious. Three codes. Wow. Huh. You're gonna have to look up these codes here. P1362, 1361, 1352. Output high pulse detected when ground cylinder 2. That's probably the spark plug wires. I don't know. Some of the spark plug wires are not the best. They got a little bit hot. I changed the oil, but the traction light is on, and the ABS, which is probably a wheel sensor. No big deal. But the check engine light's on now, which kind of sucks. I had it running a couple minutes ago. Hi, Buster. How you doing? Look at the friggin' Look at the friggin' carbon fibers. Friggin' carbon fibers back in 2004. Friggin' carbon fibers over here too. I took this car for a drive, and it is ridiculously fun. It is, yeah, it is a ridiculous amount of fun. This thing goes. Must be that supercharger, I guess. But it check engine light came back on, so I'm gonna have to scan it and figure out that code. And it was coming up as an ignition, something to do with the ignition. So it might be those back spark plug wires. They're not very good, especially that one right there. It's not very good. So yeah, and the power steering was making a little bit of a whine, so I'll have to find the power steering reservoir and top that up, I'm guessing. But yeah, she goes like a scared rabbit. Wow. This is even worse than the PT Cruiser. Putting the washer fluid in the PT Cruiser, I couldn't find it took me a few minutes to find it. But so what I'm looking for on this Impala is the power steering reservoir to top it up, and I cannot find it for the life of me. Well, I shouldn't say that, because I finally found it. So I was looking at the pulleys, because the pump always runs off the pulleys. It's not electric power steering, it's hydraulic power steering. And there's the power steering pump down there, and the cap to fill it up is down between those two hoses. You can't even see it. Maybe I'll turn the flash on. Okay, turned on the flash. See that down there? I don't know. It's in between those hoses down there. That's the power steering fluid cap. Way the frig down there. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. I'm gonna need a long, small funnel. Can't even see it. Can't even show you. I got the lid off the power steering pump, which is way back down there. There's the lid and dipstick combination. So filthy down there. It's the fluid is barely touching the add mark, so it definitely needs to be topped up, which I could tell by the power steering whine. It was making a whine. So I put a funnel extension down in there, and now I can put my funnel into the extension. Oh yeah. Yeah, just like that. Then I can give her a gurgle. Give her a gurgle. Sorry about the wind. It's windier as frig outside today. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Gurgle.